So many people have been asking for this video, and I did say that I would make it sometime in July. And this is finally it. Test room kind of pushed that back a little bit, but I was farming for this gear towards the end of June, early July, and I ended up getting most, if not all, of the pieces of gear just over one weekend. I just spent like almost a whole weekend just farming for this set, because you really do have to farm to get all this, and there's a lot of pieces of gear that you need to complete this set. So we're going to be going over all that for the 130 Storm gear setup that I should have made this a while ago, but I just never, I never even got my Storm to level 130. It took me forever. It took me forever to get my life to 130 and my Storm, because that was when I stopped doing the walkthroughs and I just left them at 129. I eventually got them to 130 just on my own time. I think it was on Terra stream. And then I started to go for the actual gear. So here we go. This is going to be 130 Storm gear setup. This is only PvE setup. You wouldn't use this in PvP at all because it would be pretty bad. But for PvE, this works pretty well. It doesn't work in all situations. It's not like a overarching like best Storm setup for every situation, but it's good for a lot of situations. So we'll go over all that. But level 130 Storm, finally, you know, I'm glad I have two characters that are level 130, my life and Storm. With this setup, Storms have well over 5,000 health now, so I like that. I think I remember in either the 120 or 125 setup, you had like, or my Storm had like 4,900 health, not even 5,000, so glad that the health is getting up there for Storm. 160 damage though. This is pretty crazy. If you have everything perfect on this set, you will get 160 damage. If you don't, you'll have like 158, 59, something like that. But 160 if you have everything perfect. 29 resist across the board is pretty standard for these type of setups for Storm. I think it's been like that for like the other gear setups that I've done. But unless you really go for resist, then this is what it's going to be with this type of setup, which is fine. You know, Storms are expected to not have that much resist. 34 accuracy, which means you will fizzle only on the certain shadow spells that are 65. Like you have a 1% chance to fizzle if it's the 65, like Iron Sultan and Rasolka. You can't fizzle bugs. Oh, you could fizzle Scion of Storm, I guess. But it's a 1% chance. If that happens, then I guess that's super unlucky. But otherwise, you will be able to cast all these other ones, no problem. So that's one thing. Keep in mind, I mean, 1%, I don't really care. But that is how the set works. You can socket a jewel, but then there's other bad things that will happen if you do that. So I don't think it's worth it for the 1%. And then over here, this is where it gets really precise. You need to have exactly 837 critical in order to hit 100%. That's where the like actual grind of this set comes in, is to get this number to exactly 837. If you have 836, I'm pretty sure you have 99% critical. So we'll go over how to get exactly this much. You can probably see a little preview there of everything that you need, but it gets pretty crazy. Blocking literally doesn't matter anymore. Blocking doesn't matter in this game, and well, it matters. It doesn't really matter, honestly. Like blocking is just so, I don't know. No one goes for really that much block anymore. Pierce. This is probably the biggest drawback of this set is Pierce. 4% Pierce only from the amulet. I agree, this is really low, but that's probably the one drawback. If I had to find one, it'd be this. So if you are going up against a boss that you need a lot of Pierce, don't use this set. It's not going to be worth it for you. It's going to be horrible. But in other situations, this set's going to be good. So if the boss or whatever you're fighting is Storm, you're going to need a Prism. If it puts up shields, probably put in Shrike or something. But yeah, that's kind of bad. Actually, it's really bad. Stone resist, I got up to 20%. That's good. Healing and outgoing healing doesn't matter. Pip conversion, 31%, I guess. Great. Power pips is exactly 100%. I love that. That's really good. And then shadow pip bonus is up to 9%. So both these really good. So let's actually go into what gear you need for this setup. Basically, you need all Paradox. Almost. You need a lot of Paradox to get this. So starting with the Stormy Paradox hat. And if we compare it, do I even have the, I don't even have the Kabbalist, but it's an upgrade of the Kabbalist. And gives you power pip, accuracy, lot of critical, a lot of damage. Compared to the Master, it doesn't give you any resist and doesn't give you any pierce. So that's where like the pierce is starting to like be drawn back. It does give you accuracy, so that's good. But we're just waiting on the next set like Darkmoor that gives you these balanced stats. And they started to not do that after Darkmoor because they thought it would be too crazy. If they gave a good hat like this for 130 that gave resist and pierce and all the stats, like well-rounded stats, characters in this game would be pretty crazy. Like the sets would be insane. So maybe they don't want to do that yet. I don't know. Are they going to do that 130 for some dungeon that they come out with in November? I don't know. No idea. But for now, this is what we got. The robe is still Malister's. It's been like this since Darkmoor, and it's going to stay like this unless they come out with another Darkmoor. Or a Darkmoor, like a similar dungeon to Darkmoor for 130. Which maybe they'll do that. I don't know. But this has been the best robe, and it's staying the best robe. I actually have the Stormy Paradox vestment right here. But you can compare the stats, and they're so bad. Oh, man. It looks kind of cool, though. The little ring kind of like shimmers. Different colors for each school, depending on which one you have. So, it looks nice, but Master one is just insane. You need the Stormy Boots. These are the best, and I think I put the Cabalist boots in my gear vault, but these are an upgrade of the Cabalist, and they give you the best crit and damage. I mean, the damage, 33%, that's pretty crazy. So, you need these to complete the set. Here's a comparison of the Master ones, which, you know, give block, resist, and pierce, and all that stuff. Just well-rounded, but these ones are just better. I mean, 26% damage to 33%. I'd rather use Stormy. If they come out with an upgrade to this, to Master boots, I'll use it, but I just feel like they don't really want to do that. So if you remember the video I made where I went for the best Storm Wand in the game, right? This is the best Storm Wand in the game in terms of damage. It is not the best in terms of critical. But here's the thing. You need to balance it. You need a wand that has high crit and decent amount of damage. Like decently high damage. That's why people use the Wisteria one for this set. Because the 2 critical difference matters. This is how perfect the set is. 2 critical. 89 to 87. You need the 89. So you have to sacrifice 2%. If you want to use this one, you can. You can totally use this. You get 162 damage, but your critical drops to 99. If you're okay with having 99%, then you can use this and have 162 damage, and then everything else is pretty much the same. But you can do that if you want, but I'd rather just consistently have the 100%, and I'd rather use this. But that is an option. That's why I said that this wand was really good. This wand is really good. It's insane. But it doesn't make the set perfect. So if you're okay with that, you can use that wand. If you're not, then you're going to need the Wisteria one. And the Wisteria one has Maycast Pigsy. That's pretty crazy for the wand hits. But that was kind of the decision I was making before I made this gear setup video was, what set do I really want to go for? Am I okay with having 99% critical? Do I want 100? And honestly, if I ever didn't critical at 99%, I'd be kind of mad. So I'd rather go for the Wisteria, have 100%. But this is an option if you don't have Wisteria, or, yeah, it's still pretty good. This one was interesting. So to get the highest amount of damage and to have the critical get to exactly 837, you need to use the Aphrodite's a theme. Luckily, I had this just stored somewhere in my bank. I don't even remember getting it, but I had it. It gives 18% damage, and you have to socket 2 18 criticals in order to get this. I also had a 125 health jewel just from farming this so much, and you got to socket a 10%. And you need the 18 critical jewels. You can get those from the jewel packs, but you know, I mean, you can get them dropped, but they also come from the jewel packs. Jewel packs are obviously easier, but you have to spend crowns. Fly Gobs is the best for the critical from an amulet. It gives some pierce, which is the only pierce you get in this whole set, and some resist, so that's the best. I also socket some stun resist just because I like it. This is actually called Stormy Paradox Ring, but I crafted it, and it has the same stats. All this gear you can craft, by the way. You can craft the hat. You can craft the boots. You can't craft the pack wand. This is dropped. This is dropped. And then you can craft this, obviously. So this one I craft because I had all the reagents for it. And I was just like, why would I farm for this if I can just craft it? So I crafted it. Gives a lot of crit, a lot of damage. Socket the 18 critical because you need 3 18 critical jewels in order to get this. And then that's the ring. That's the ring you're going to be using. It's a little bit better than the mimic ring. Less damage, but more crit because you need the crit, and then you socket the 18. Pet is the same as I've always had, the triple crit, triple damage, max stat. You need that. Like, every little point of critical matters. So your pet has to look like this. It has to be 31 crit, 26, 32, and then all the damage. So that makes it difficult. I know that for some people getting this pet could be a struggle, but it's double pet XP right now, so I'm sure there's pets like this in the kiosk, and you need that. The mount is the Gulcher. In order to get the max amount of damage, you're gonna need the Storm Gulcher, 3% damage. And the deck is also Paradox deck, or Paradox gear. This one drops in the husk. All these drop in the husk from different bosses, and this is the best deck in the game for Storm. The only bad thing is the max copies for Storm is only 6, and the max copies for other things is only 4. So you have to put in, if you want a lot of hits, you can only put in 4 epic, and you're gonna have to put in like Colossal or something. That's another drawback. But I really don't put in that many spells anyway. So usually, like a normal like setup for me, we can do a quick like deck setup. Like a normal deck setup for me is something like, if I actually wanted blades, I would do this, and then I would put in like a couple hits: 2 Tempest, 1 Stormlord, 1 Bugs. And this is all I use. This is like my main setup all the time. Sometimes I don't even put in blades. If I want to draw a Tempest, I would probably just put this. Maybe put on Galvanic Field if I want, and then that's it. So that's kind of how the setup is. You don't really wait. You don't really wait a while to hit. Like with this setup, you're hitting like turn 2 or turn 1. So that's kind of how the setup works. But yeah, that is the deck, and that completes everything. So I'll just go over quickly where everything's from. The hat and boots drop from Sargon, which is the first sigil in the husk. A lot of people were farming this. I did team up to get it. Took me a lot of runs. Let me go to my my Arkham apartment over here, and I can show you how many runs it took. Well, I don't know how many runs it took, but I can show you how many pieces of gear I got that were the wrong pieces of gear. So here's my gear vault, which I created just to store all this stuff that all this Paradox gear I was getting. Here's the ice one. I have life one. I have another storm hat. I think I had another storm hat, but I deleted it because I don't need this many storm hats. The balance, vestment, death, life. I think I have the full life set, honestly. Do I have life boot? Yeah, I have life boots. I could make a life hitting setup, but I don't really want to because I don't really hit. Myth. Another. Oh, here's where it starts. Look, these are all dropped from Sargon. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I have 8 extra Stormy Paradox boots that I got while farming for the hat. It kept giving me boots. It would not stop giving me boots. I could not get the hat. The hat was a struggle for me. Eventually, I got the hat, and then one time after I got all my gear, I got the hat, the Storm Paradox hat, and Storm Paradox boots in one run. It was crazy. I don't know. The RNG in this game doesn't make any sense sometimes. But yeah, this is how many boots I got trying to get the hat. Wands, you can get some wands too, but they're not crazy. But they are kind of like a lower tier if you want to use that. And then everything else, I mean, yeah, I got the ice, and life dropped so much for me. I got all the life gear pretty much. But yeah, that is everything that I got while farming for this. I probably had more, but I might have sold it. But yeah, that is where those two are from. You gotta farm Sargon, like the Omen looking guy. And then this is from the Wisteria pack, level 130. Like, that's the only way. Like, that's how you have to get this. And luckily for me, it didn't take too many packs to get, but that's where it's from. This is from Aphrodite. You have to get the storm drop from her. And then this is from Shane, but not in the graveyard. Shane in the upper halls. That is where this amulet's from. This is from the rat and scorpion fight. you can also get it as, you can craft it. You can craft this, you can craft the Stormy stuff too. I crafted it because it's easier, but yeah, the drops from the rat and scorpion. Make your pet from the kiosk, hopefully. Finally, the Stormy Paradox deck is from the spider guy. I don't know his name. It's the second sigil in the husk. He's a storm spider chrysalis looking guy. And yeah, he drops the decks for all the schools. I got the death one. Did I get any other ones? I got the fire one too. So that is where those are from. But yeah, that's the setup. So this setup allows you to have 160 damage, 100% critical. Your other stats are pretty good. The only bad thing is Pierce. And the only way Pierce would go up on a set like this is if they decided to come out with a balanced 130 setup or balanced 130 gear so that you could have a better setup at level 130. And that's only going to happen if they come out with a dungeon for 130 this year that has balanced stats like that. Are they going to do that? I have no clue. I have absolutely no idea. I don't even know if we're getting a dungeon. I think it's been hinted at, but nothing's for sure. So fingers crossed that we actually get that this year, but yeah, I don't know. So this is the setup. Is it pay to win? Yes. It is very difficult to get all this stuff. To get this, you have to pay. This stuff you can farm for. All three of these you can farm for. This you can farm for. Farm. Pet. Pets are honestly crowns. Like, you have to spend crowns pretty much, unless you wait like a long time. But yeah, pretty much you have to spend crowns to get a pet. Gulcher is pay to win. And the deck you can farm for, though. So some pay to win elements. The jewels, though. The jewels, I open packs for jewels because those are tough. I only got one 18 storm jewel, I think, from farming. And then I got the rest from the jewel pack. So that's up to you. That one is one of the tougher things to get, is the 18 jewels. But yeah, they are from the storm pack. So that's going to do it. That is this video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope it helped on your journey to get the ultimate storm stats for PvE. Honestly, I love having this kind of setup. I love 100% high damage storm sets, and it's all I use. If I were to go into a fight that I know I could die, then I put on a different pet that has actual resist, like this guy. And I might put on Mouster hat or Mouster boots, something like that, just to give me some more resist. But otherwise, I am using this. If I go into Medulla, sometimes I even use this setup going into hard bosses because I know that my team will heal me. But yeah, that's the setup. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you're trying to go for this or if you're just going to wait for level 130 new dungeon that comes out. If it does. So leave a big like if you guys have enjoyed this video, if it helped you. Subscribe if you're new to the channel. And I'll see you guys next time.